Today I am with my race engineer, Tom Stallard, as you may have seen on the pit wall or heard on the radio. But what you might not know about Tom is that he used to be an Olympic athlete. And why don't you tell us more about that?
Before I joined McLaren, I was an Olympic rower. My event at both Olympics was the men's rowing eights. I competed in the Athens and Beijing Olympics, so 2004, 2008. In the end, I got a silver medal in Beijing. Do you want to see?
Yeah, sure. I'm more than happy to take a look. Wow.
So
I feel like I'm holding a very sacred box here.
You are, yeah. It's covered in Chinese silk, embroidered with lucky clouds, which are like a Chinese lucky emblem. Then inside, there's another red box, because red is the Chinese lucky colour.
There you go.
You'll notice that it's quite beaten up. There's no, it adds no value to anyone sat at home and safe. So it's been passed around school classrooms and all sorts.
I think, like with any sport, there's often a lot more crossover than we think. So what do you think translates from, either as a driver or as an engineer, from rowing to motorsport?
In rowing, there's an expression about being greater than the sum of the parts. Like the good teams are greater than the sum of the parts. And I think that is really true in motorsport. Like there's only you in the car, but actually the success comes from a really effective team that lands up being greater than potentially the individuals concerned, like the teamwork. The Olympics being only once every 4 years creates a very unique pressure point that maybe in Formula One is analogous to going into the last race of the year, level on points for the championship. I guess the other difference, particularly going back to when I started working in Formula One, within the team, we always believed that if we made a good enough car, any driver could win. Whereas in rowing, it's very much that all boats are the same and the best athletes win. In the time that I've been in Formula One, I think the two have converged a bit. And we're now much better placed to work with yourself as a driver and much more appreciative of the challenges you face as a driver rather than just the problem of the car.
So you're my race engineer, and rowers have a cox on the boat. Do you think there's any similarities between the two?
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities. Obviously, the race engineer doesn't have to steer and the cox does, but actually steering is the easy bit of coxing. And the hard bit is talking to someone while they're in a really intense racing situation and balancing, giving the right input at the right time, but not just overloading them with information.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah, and a lot of what I know about race engineering, I call on what I learned as a rower.
As a race engineer, you kind of have to be on a very similar wavelength to me, I guess. I think there's been a lot of times where we've both keyed up the radio at the same time to say the same thing, or stuff like that. And that's how it should be. At the end of the day, I've got all of the information that I have in the car. You've got all of the information that you have on the screens and what you can see from the wider picture. I think putting both of those things together is very, very important.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we've got time for. Thanks for telling us about your experience as a rower. Obviously got the Olympics going on at the moment, so I'll be cheering for the Aussies. You'll be cheering for the Brits, obviously. But nice to go into the Olympics with a little bit more knowledge and a bit more personal connection to it, I guess. So, may the best team win.
Cheers, Oscar.